This lesson provides you with the foundation for understanding HTML. You will learn HTML syntax and how to use markup tags and character entities. For structuring and formatting text in HTML documents, you will also learn to create and use meta tags in your HTML documents. HTML provides a system for structuring documents. Its intent is not to format text, but to arrange it in logical sections. These sections in turn contain formatting characteristics that may affect the appearance of the text, but also may have different effects in the various browsers. Each section in an HTML document represents an element. An element is made up of coded instructions or markup tags. Tags can be open or closed. Sometimes you may see the labels paired and empty instead of closed and open. A closed tag is known as a container because it is an element which surrounds text. It contains the text which will be affected by its instructions. It therefore requires both a beginning tag to turn it on and an ending tag to turn it off. For example, the instruction to bold a section of text is turned on temporarily and then turned off. An open tag, on the other hand, gives an instruction to a section of the document but does not surround any text and therefore does not need to be discontinued. Some elements also include attributes or properties which provide additional information about the tag's instruction. An example of an attribute may be found within the horizontal line tag. The attribute might describe the line's size or alignment. The collection of elements that make up an HTML document are known as its source code. HTML source code is plain ASCII text and is created using standard text editors. As such, the source code for HTML documents can be created or viewed in any text editor or word processing application on any computer platform. Specialized HTML editors are available which automate the generation of the tags and are widely available for all computer platforms. A markup tag is defined using a precise syntax. As when using a programming language, it is essential to conform to the required syntax of the markup tags in order for the browser to correctly interpret the language of your HTML documents. The syntax of the markup tag is shown here. The markup tag is enclosed within a pair of angle brackets, sometimes referred to as wickets. A starting tag begins with the left angle bracket, followed immediately by the tag name, one word, any attributes, and then the right angle bracket to close the tag. If the element contains text and is therefore closed, it will also require an ending tag. Ending tags are identical to starting tags, except there is a slash immediately before the tag name. Four primary tags supply the basic framework of all HTML documents. The HTML is the only required tag. It declares that the document should be recognized as an HTML document. It is followed with tags to create head and body sections. While the body and head tags are not necessary, it is good practice to include them. You will probably see the following tags in most HTML documents. Not all tags have a visible effect in the browser, especially identification tags such as head and body. Let us look at the primary structure tags, their use and their visibility. The head element provides opening information about the document itself. The head tag will usually be after the HTML tag in an HTML document. The title tags are specified within the closed head tags to introduce a name for the document. There may be only one title element per document. The title tag is particularly important since it determines the text to be displayed in the title bar of the web browser, as well as the default listing in the bookmarks files or hotlists. Let us look at the guidelines that should be kept in mind when determining a title for the document. Keep it short. It should fit on the title bar or in a small text box, and longer titles are unwieldy. Make it descriptive. Titles often include an author's or organization's name, but should also be informative about the contents. A web browser recognizes individual tags by looking for angle brackets, marking the starting and ending tags. The information between the starting and ending pairs is then processed with respect to the tag. HTML does not recognize hard returns or blank spaces that are included in the text you type. The body element encloses the bulk of your HTML document. While the head element conveys introductory information about the document, nothing typed in the head section is visible to the user. The body tag, on the other hand, contains all the visible material in your document and will therefore immediately follow the closing /head tag. Since the body element contains the substance of text and tags in the document, it is a closed tag and must be ended. The only HTML tag you will see following the closing /body tag will be the closing /HTML tag. Let us look at the required basic source code. The comment tag allows the HTML author to annotate the HTML document to improve its clarity and readability. Comments are not displayed in the browser. They are only visible when viewing the HTML source code. To insert a comment, the author will use a single open tag with specialized syntax consisting only of symbols and the comment text. The text of the comment is typed between the hyphens. Heading level tags are fundamental to all HTML documents because they help to define the structure of your HTML documents. They are intended to set up a hierarchy of the data on your page. If your data fits logical categories, it is preferable to use heading level tags in sequential order, as in an outline. There are currently 6 levels of headings specified in HTML: H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. Traditionally, the H1 tag will be the first tag to follow the body tag, followed as needed by an H2 heading, an H3 heading, and so on. Heading tags automatically format the designated text. However, each browser determines just what formatting that will be. Font size is often relative to the tag's numeric level, but not consistently. An H2 tag may appear in a larger font than an H3 tag in one browser, but not another. Since each browser may display these tags differently, it is recommended that you not use heading tags for formatting purposes. The text may not appear as you intended. When seeing heading level tags, the browser will always insert a paragraph break before and after the heading, along with the associated white space that is needed to display the assigned formatting. Body text is the unformatted text that appears in your HTML documents. Formatting tags can be applied to change the font type, style, amount of white space, placement of line breaks, etc. However, in the absence of additional formatting tags, standard text will appear in your document as a single continuous paragraph. The only breaks you will see will be the line wrap and a single space between words. Carriage returns, line breaks, tabs, extra spaces, and other white space embedded in body text are ignored by web browsers. In order to format your text, you must explicitly insert the proper formatting tag. The break tag, BR, is an open tag and only a single starting tag is required. The BR tag allows text to be formatted by inserting a line break immediately following the BR tag, forcing text to the next line and justifying it to the left. In the previous example, inserting line breaks improved the visual appearance and readability of the Voyager's promotion text. Notice that whereas the lines broke, line spacing did not change. It is customary in standard formatting to include a line of blank space between paragraphs. The paragraph tag, P, indicates the start of a new paragraph. As part of its definition, the paragraph tag inserts a single line of white space between the tag and text that immediately follows. The difference between the BR and P tags is that the BR tag does not insert any additional space but simply forces the text to the next line. The browser will display an additional line of space between paragraphs when the P tag is used. The paragraph tag, like the break tag, began as an open tag. Changes in the HTML standards have changed the paragraph, adding attributes for you to use and necessitating its use as a closed tag. However, all current browsers still properly interpret the paragraph tag as an open or closed tag. Later courses deal with this and other examples of changes in the HTML standards. One of the enhancements that Netscape has introduced is the ability to center text on a page. There are currently two methods for centering text: the center tag and the align equal to center attribute. The center tag is proprietary to Netscape. The center attribute was introduced into the HTML 3.0 specification and was adopted by web browsers. Though the center tag has been acknowledged by the HTML standards process, it is not expected to be included in the future. The align equal to center attribute can be used with the P tag or heading level tags H1 to H6. Either of the following examples will result in text centered on the page. Of course, entire paragraphs can be centered using the align equal to center attribute in a paragraph tag. The center tag does have the advantage that it can be applied to an entire document, whereas the center attribute needs to be applied to each text element individually. Also, the center tag centers other HTML elements, including images and tables. The block quote element was developed to format lengthy quoted material. Formal styles manuals specify that quotations be indented and single-spaced. Most browsers interpret the block quote tag as a signal to indent the text, often at both the right and the left margins. Since the block quote tag encloses the section of text being quoted, it is a closed tag. You end it with the closing tag /block quote. The block quote element also adds a line of space above and below each tag. The pre-formatted tag, PRE, instructs the browser to preserve character spacing. This tag is useful for displaying unusual spacing, such as tables, quoted material, or coding. However, the PRE tag has the drawback of displaying in a monospaced font, which appears different from the standard web browser font style. There are now tags for handling more complex formatting, but the PRE was once the only effective way to deal with charts and tables. There are a variety of markup tags available in HTML for changing the format of characters within a block of text. These tags are known as character style tags. The character style tags are divided into two groups, often identified as physical tags and logical tags. Physical tags describe the appearance of text, such as the bold and italic. Logical tags describe the purpose of the text, such as a citation or definition. The table below lists the most commonly seen physical and logical tags. Logical tags were most common in earlier versions of HTML codes. They are used less frequently today as they were not consistently interpreted by the various browsers, leading to unreliable page displays. Physical style tags, on the other hand, are prevalent within recent HTML documents. Three of the most popular character style tags include bold, B, italic, I, and strike through, strike. All three of these tags are closed. With modern browsers, these tags can be combined or nested. Example, you can create text that is both bold and italic. While current browsers support the nesting of style tags, there are still browsers in use that may not support this capability. In those cases, only the innermost tags are recognized. It is also important when nesting one tag within another that you mirror the tags. For instance, you would not want to begin with the opening tag for bold, but end with the closing tag for italics. Incorrectly nesting tags risks more than faulty formatting. In some browsers, the enclosed text will not even display. You should be aware of the capabilities of the particular browser that you are using. And, more importantly, the browsers of the target audiences for whom you are authoring your HTML source code. There are a variety of markup tag styles available in HTML for creating lists in your documents. The common types of lists are unordered, ordered, and definition lists. The first type of list is an unordered list, commonly referred to as a bullet list. Items in the list are displayed indented, and each item is preceded by a bullet. The second type of list is an ordered list, commonly referred to as a numbered list. It is just like an unordered list, except the items in the list are displayed with numbers instead of bullets. The type of list is indicated by the markup tag. The unordered list tag is UL, and the ordered list tag is OL. The individual items in either list are preceded by the LI tag. The LI tag is for list items and is an open tag, whereas the UL and OL tags are closed tags. The source code for an unordered list might look like the example below. The above code would display as the bulleted list below. The source code for an ordered list would appear the same as the unordered list, except that you would need to replace the UL/UL tags with OL and /OL tags. The source code for an ordered list might appear as follows. The resulting text would appear in the browser as shown. As part of the enhancements to HTML, Netscape has extended the set of attributes available for creating ordered and unordered lists. Internet Explorer supports the attributes for the ordered lists, and all attributes are supported in the latest draft of the HTML standard. These new attributes allow you more control over the bullets and numbering in lists. For unordered lists, there are three different symbols available to denote the bullet. These are entered as a value for the type attribute within the list item tag. Available types include disk, circle, and square. The types of symbol you choose may be overridden by the default font selected in the browser settings. Ordered lists now can take on the following four types of notation for the numbering scheme. Ordered lists can also be given a starting value using the start attribute. This attribute allows you to start your ordered lists at a number other than the default value of 1. The definition lists allows you to create the look of a glossary listing with a term followed by its definition. It differs from the previous list types in that it requires 3 tags. The first is the declaration of the list using the DL tag. The term to be defined is declared with the DT tag. The definition of the term is declared by the DD tag. The list is closed with the /DL tag. Here is the example of a definition list. The resulting text will appear in the browser as shown. The horizontal rule tag, HR, allows you to place horizontal lines in your documents to help structure the document and make it more pleasing to the eye. The HR tag is an open tag. It has additional attributes to allow. The figure shows the values that each of the attributes may take. Note that the attributes associated with the HR tag are Netscape proprietary and may not be available with other web browsers. Character entities are specialized HTML elements that allow special characters and symbols to be incorporated into your HTML documents. For example, you may want to include a copyright or a trademark symbol. Character entities allow you to include these symbols. Character entities are always preceded by the ampersand character and followed by a semicolon. All browsers may not support every character entity. Further, differences in the character sets of operating systems, such as between Macintosh and Windows, may map different characters to the same character entity. These problems are rare, but it is wise to test your pages on more than one browser for the best results. There have been some enhancements introduced into the HTML standards that affect the appearance of the text in HTML documents. You can now change the color of text for an entire document. You can set the color of hyperlinks to contrast appropriately. A new tag, font, has been introduced that allows you to set the color of individual words or larger selections of text, the relative size of any text, and even change the font face in the most current browsers. One enhancement to HTML is the ability to change the default colors of text and links in your documents by including attributes in the body tag. The following attributes may be added to the tag. By specifying these attribute values, the default colors that would normally show up in a browser can be overridden. The color value must be specified using hexadecimal notation. Hexadecimal values will consist of 6 alphanumeric characters that can range from 0 to 9 and A to F. In order to find out the correct hexadecimal value, the color that you want to select must be determined using red, green, blue, RGB values. RGB values are the combination of red, green and blue that make up a color. Then the RGB values must be converted to a hexadecimal value. The easiest way to select a color is to select from the color table that shows a matrix of colors and the corresponding hexadecimal value for each color. An example will give you an idea of how the hexadecimal system is related to a specific color. 2 characters are assigned for each of the RGB values to yield a total of 6 characters. The hexadecimal code is always preceded by a hash mark. Black has the lowest hexadecimal value and white the highest. All the colors fall between these two extremes. Some examples of hexadecimal values and their corresponding colors are listed here. Recently, a method has been developed to describe colors by name. Most are ordinary colors: white, black, blue, gray, etc. If color names are used in a document instead of the hexadecimal values, a non-compliant browser will try to interpret names as hexadecimal values. The resulting color is unpredictable. For this reason, it is suggested that you continue to use hexadecimal values until color names become an HTML standard. The font tag gives you control over the appearance of text selections from single words to larger blocks of text. The font tag may eventually be superseded by the use of style sheets in future HTML standards. For now, it is the way to change the color, size, and even the typeface used in your HTML document. Font tag takes three attributes: color, size, and face, as shown in the table. Let us look at the example in which the selected text would appear in fuchsia, 2 sizes larger than regular body text, and in the Times New Roman font, if this font is installed on the machine you are using. Modern browsers support 2 methods for changing the default background screens in browsers. Both are attributes used within the body tag. One allows you to set the background color. The second allows you to place an image in the background. This image will be tiled to fill the background of the browser window. In both cases, these effects must be set document by document. It is also possible for the user to set the browser to override the effect. Care must also be taken so that the background does not interfere with the user's ability to read the foreground. The first method is similar to the method used to set the color of text and links. The bgColor attribute includes a 6-character hexadecimal value. This will cause the browser to display a solid color background. The second method of affecting the background enables you to use a tiled image to fill the background with a pattern. The background attribute is also included in the body tag and must reference an image file. Any GIF or JPEG image can be used as a background image. The meta tag is used to describe meta information about the document for use by the indexing or cataloging programs, web robots, or other programs. You may also use meta tags to pass instructions to the browser and the server, thus creating some automated procedures. The user never sees the meta tag or the information it provides as part of the page display. The meta tag can appear only in the head tag. It has a number of attributes including name, content, and HTTP equiv. Here is an example of meta tags. More than one meta tag may appear in the head of a document. How the name and content is interpreted is determined by the application that reads the tag. Perhaps the only use of the meta tag that creates an immediate impact on the user is with a technique called client pull. Through the meta tag, the browser is instructed to load the requested page, wait a period of time, and then request a new page from the server. With this method, you can create a self-running HTML slideshow. You could also create what would look like an animation to the user by reloading the same page with subtle changes to individual elements. Unfortunately, these are clumsy at best, subject to the quality and speed of the user's connection. However, client pull has become commonly used as a way to forward users to the new location of a page or site automatically. You may have seen pages that promise to take you to the new location of page X in a moment. You will note that such pages usually have a hyperlink to that new location as well. Not all browsers read and interpret these meta tags, so a hyperlink must be provided. Here is a sample of the meta tag for client pull. Here the punctuation of the content attribute is important. The HTTP equiv attribute passes information to the browser. In this case, it tells the browser to refresh the display, that is to load a new page. The content attribute indicates how long the browser should wait in seconds and which page to load. If there is no URL, then the content page will be reloaded. As you use the internet search and index tools like Excite, Lycos, AltaVista, or one of the many others, you may have noticed rankings and categories in the results returned. These tools are spiders and robots, little programs designed to poll web servers and gather information about the documents they contain. The indexers can record and count many things, hyperlinks or instances of words, for example. They always record the contents of the title tag of a document, a good reason to always use a meaningful title in your documents. Upon recognizing that users were finding pages based on keywords from title tags, some authors began including long lists of keywords in the title. This made for more results in searches, but very silly titles in a bookmark list. The meta tag became a much better place to put lists of keywords for documents. Most of the current search tools read meta tags looking for a name equal to keywords attribute. The keywords themselves are included in a contents attribute. You may include as many keywords as you wish. Here is an example of a meta tag with keywords. Combined with a meaningful title tag, your audience should be able to find your content easily. There are many instances now of caching servers. Many large organizations and many of the online services like CompuServe and America Online use them. These servers sit between the users and the internet. As users request documents, these servers keep a copy in the server cache. The next time a request is made for that document, it is served from the cache, not from the originating server. This normally saves the user time as the caching server is on a local network. It can help reduce the load on the internet and individual servers. However, if you have content that changes regularly, users may miss out on the most current version. Therefore, it would be helpful to have some means to inform these caching servers how long to keep documents in the cache. Using the meta tag with the HTTP equiv attribute, you can set a time for a document to expire, even having it expire immediately. Here is an example of a document set to expire at a specific date and time. The document containing this meta tag will expire on June the 30th, 2001 at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This information is meaningless if the document is pulled straight from the server to the user. However, caching servers will read this information and pull a fresh copy from the originating server if the document has expired. Here is an example of a meta tag that should force a new reload for each request. Though the document will be cached, the next request will find it expired and a new copy will be retrieved.